Welcome to the Virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Hold on, I gotta get over it. Please welcome to your screen. Oh, I'm almost there. Suzette Veneti!
Hi! I don't know what you guys can see at home, but I'm wearing a dress, not just a bra. So I thought I should let you know. Okay, cool. Let's start the show with that fun information. We ready for a monologue? Okay. Well, welcome to the show today. It's May 3rd, and it's a Sunday, because I know everyone's having trouble. This isn't the monologue, by the way, so if nothing's funny, that's just me. People are having trouble keeping track of days, so that's your reminder. It's Sunday, May 3rd. It's like 7 something. I don't know time. 7:10. And welcome to the Suzette Veneti Show. We're ending the Stab-a-thon, which is a telethon marathon with Stab programming that's been going on since Monday at noon. Jesse's been living here since Monday at noon, and it's to raise money because Stab isn't able to sell tickets or beer or concessions or peanut butter cups. That's my favorite. Also, maybe one of my nicknames to people that come to shows, because no one can come to shows. That sort of thing is illegal right now. Also, a reminder, all of my guests tonight, they're performers, and they can't perform in front of people right now because that's illegal also to ask people to gather in groups. So if you see their Venmos pop up and you want to drop them some coin, even $1, that's okay and much appreciated, because none of them are working right now, and so that would be really appreciated. Not necessary, though. We're bringing you this show for fun and for free, and we just appreciate any donations that you guys can toss.
All right. Okay,
and we're going to jump into the monologue now. Okay, so protesters everywhere are comparing the lockdown to slavery, which I'm just going to make a face first. Really? You're really comparing the lockdown to slavery? Okay, cool. Because Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman weren't able to go just like stream Hulu and order Grubhub and chill in their hot tub. This is not slavery. This is chilling in your house. Get over yourself. Staying with the theme of white people being upset about things, they're crushed everywhere because they can't celebrate their favorite holiday that they know nothing about, that they can't explain to you what it is. They only know the date, and that's Cinco de Mayo, and they can't celebrate that right now. So, a tear for them. Mike Pence was recently photographed in the Mayo Clinic, where everybody around him was wearing masks except him, and every picture is him not wearing a mask. Every single picture. And I think this probably wasn't the first time that Mike Pence looked around and felt different than the other guys. There was maybe something that he didn't want to share. It's okay, Mike Pence. You can tell people. You can tell them you don't want to wear a mask. Everyone is sharing the meme where it's like, if you're naked and you're not wearing pants and there's a guy going around peeing on everybody and he pees on you, you're going to get pee on you. But if you're wearing pants, you'll get less pee on you. And if he's wearing pants and you're wearing pants, you'll get no pee on you. And I just want to say thanks, everybody, because now you've convinced R. Kelly not to wear a mask. After he hadn't been seen for 20 days, Kim Jong-un was recently seen, and people pointed out that he was seen at a fertilizer plant. But that's really weird, because I'm Italian-American, and when my people, Italian-Americans, say somebody showed up at the fertilizer plant, it doesn't mean you're alive. It really means you're dead, because it's a fertilizer plant. The Little League World Series was canceled, and nobody is more devastated by this than the 12-year-olds who will never get their 12-year-old season. But a close second is the Catholic Church. And they are devastated, well, the priests are devastated that their favorite show, televised 12-year-old sweating, won't air this summer. And I know that's low-hanging fruit, but trust me. Well, I guess it's only low-hanging fruit sometimes. Like, it depends on the 12-year-old. Sometimes it's higher-hanging fruit. Sometimes it's lower-hanging fruit. I know, you're like, Suzette, you should really push deeper. Don't take the topical. I know, but that's what the priests say. They say push deeper. So it's awkward. And I'm really sorry. So a heartfelt note to the 12-year-olds. All seriousness, I'm sorry you're going to miss your 12-year-old season. Ruth's Hospitality Group, owner of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, will give back $20 million. But I want to know, why isn't it Ruth's Chris Hospitality Group? The Los Angeles Lakers gave back $4.6 million that they received in the payment protection loan, which is the most generous the Los Angeles Lakers have been with money since they signed Dwight Howard. In episode 3 of The Last Dance on ESPN that chronicles the 1998 championship Bulls final run, viewers were shocked this week to find out that Dennis Rodman took 48 hours to vacation in Las Vegas during the season, which I was wondering, like, weren't any of you guys watching that season in real time? And why is that a surprise to you? Because Dennis Rodman was exactly that person, and he still is, even though now he's just Kim Jong-un's hype man. Also, Kim Jong-un is 36, and I'm 36, and I just think that's weird because he looks way older than me. Also in The Last Dance, Carmen Electra chronicled when she was sleeping in Dennis Rodman's room and Michael Jordan came in to drag Dennis Rodman back to practice. And Carmen Electra said that she hid because she, quote, didn't want Michael Jordan to see her like that. And I just wanted to say, guys watching, and you think your woman is too self-conscious, look, if 1998 Carmen Electra, naked and in bed, is self-conscious of being seen naked and in bed, then every woman ever has every reason to feel self-conscious anytime they want. Also, if your boyfriend looks that good in a wedding dress and his body's cut from steel and he's skinny and he's 6'10" and he looks that good in a wedding dress, life's hard. Men in dresses, am I right? My friend recently told me that, this is a true story by the way, that he wanted to have sex with a girl so bad. So he went out and he bought some painter suits, the kind that cover your whole body and your face with the little plastic shield. He went out and bought those, and he got some masks, and he gave her a suit and a mask, and he wore a suit and a mask, and he cut holes in the crotches, and they had sex because they're trying, to be protective and not spread. But once there's just a whole lot of breathing going on, and a mask is going to get bumped, and really you should just give up. And now you're quarantined together. Don't struggle thinking that that's going to help you. Just stop quarantining where you are, shelter in place together at that point. Now you live together. And I know it was just a one-night stand, buddy, but take a page from the lesbian playbook. One-night stands turn into forever, at least during quarantine. Okay, that was the monologue. So on with the show. We ready to start the show?
Yeah, let me check real quick and see what the order is at the moment. Oh, Ellis. Do we have Ellis?
I don't think we do.
All right.
We'll move on with, we'll get Mean David.
Okay, let me get him pinned up here and get his title, and we'll be ready in just a second. So go ahead and vamp for a sec.
Okay. So, everyone watching Peers and Queers, this is one of my favorite comics, NorCal's own. You can catch him on his, right now, in quarantine times, you can catch him on his show that he does in the meantime. And when all this is over, make sure you catch him in person. He has a great show. He's a great social media follow. One of my favorites, Mean Dave.
All right.
Mean Dave, can you hear me?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, sorry guys, technical stuff.
I know what happened, I think. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I faded the music all the way out, so that's the same computer. There we go. Should be able to hear Dave now.
Good. You good?
Hey, Mean Dave, how are you?
I'm excellent. Good to see you again, Suzette.
You too.
It's been an interesting week. Just because well, I mean, actually, it really isn't. It's just that's just the thing we say. But yeah, no, another week in the quarantine. I got to leave the house twice this week, which is a big deal. And my trip to grocery outlet, my weekly trip to grocery outlet this week, I ran into my boss from the last job I had. Last place I worked at was a place called What the Cluck. It was a fried chicken and waffle spot at the mall, and my boss.
When did you last work there?
2017.
Okay, so it's been a minute.
I mean, it was an independent business at this. I live in Newark. We have a mall at New Park Mall, and it's been a dying mall for like 15 years.
Oh,
And,
like all malls are.
Yeah, and for some reason they thought I have a good idea. Let's start a fried chicken and waffle spot in the food court that no one goes to, and so I ended up working there for almost a year, and one of the co-owners, I was friends with one co-owner, and then his partner was this woman who was mainly the hands-on boss there, and always cool, nice lady. She smoked a blunt every day before work, but you wouldn't know it to talk to her. But she that was just something she always kept telling me. But I ran into her at grocery outlet, and this was the first time this has ever happened. Wasn't saying she was an unattractive woman when I worked with her, but she was just, she's my boss, and quite frankly, I just didn't really pay any attention to her. Apparently, she's been working out. She's been doing the at-home workouts or whatever. I don't know if it's not CrossFit. I forget what the hell it's called.
Like high intensity?
Something. It's something with a special word. It's not yoga. It's one of those words like yoga.
Oh, Pilates.
But it's something else. I forget what it is. I don't even know what the word is. It's exercise, maybe. I will just call it exercise. But she's been working out because we have masks on in the grocery outlet, and I'm pretty recognizable even with a mask on because she spotted me. I wouldn't have spotted her because she now has a rockin' bod, and so it's the first time I've ever been attracted to a boss after a business has fallen out, and so yeah, and I just told her she looked great, which at 8 o'clock in the morning at grocery outlet. Didn't know exactly how that, I don't know exactly how to spit game at a grocery outlet to someone who used to employ me. So that was the highlight of the week, as far as, my work, whatever, wherewithal. But we've had some news just within the last 24 hours. There's now giant Asian murder hornets that are invading America, and so I just want to warn everybody because apparently it's not enough that we just share news articles on social media. So let the word out there that there's giant Asian murder hornets, 4 of them by the count in Washington. So we can put this coronavirus panic on hold until these 4 giant Asian murder hornets are rounded up, which is I don't know why we have to keep throwing Asian in there. We were told, we don't want to call it the Chinese virus, and the news has no problem peppering headlines with giant Asian murder hornets, which I really hope doesn't get into the wrong hands of white nationalists who are trying to protest the coronavirus quarantine. So, have you been aware of the giant Asian murder hornets, Suzette?
Somebody told me about them. Really quick.
Somebody told you.
I have to follow up with your story. You have the best adventures at grocery outlet. If anyone's following the show.
Thank you. I mean, I didn't see any of the giant Asian murder hornets at grocery outlet. It's safe in Newark. But just want to get the word out there because there's so many people sharing the links on there, and it's just important that we get the message out. And then the other news this week, we had the unveiling of the heart of the care emoji on Facebook, or the care react. So that makes things better. Everybody, I'm sure, has been feeling better now that, to be quite honest, I just think it looks like an emoji version of Joe Biden dry humping a heart, but that's just me. But apparently it kind of makes up for all of the being stuck at home and shit. So, and naturally we've got all of the adaptations. People have been adapting it to their own liking. We have the angry, the bitter, the hate care emoji. And we've got our alcoholic care emoji, or react, whatever the fuck they are.
Right? I never know what to call them.
Followed by the actual heart care. That's a real heart. I thought those were intestines at first, but it turns out it's an actual heart.
Hearts are kind of ugly.
The most popular one has been the dildo care, the care of the dildo, Bitmoji or whatever, React. And my favorite though is because it involves my favorite band, the Melvins. So, and that's the Stoner Witch album by the Melvins. Highly recommend that album in quarantine for anybody who's looking for good music. So, beyond that, let's see. Then also something else. Just want to let you know that in case you haven't noticed, people are yelling at police officers in masks. For some reason, the only thing that seems to be combating the coronavirus successfully is white nationalism. So that's kind of scary right now to find that racists are the only way to really defeat the virus. And so then naturally we need to take them down a peg, and we can literally take them down a peg thanks to a good old-fashioned ridicule by the internet there. So yeah, just for anybody, if any of this any of this stuff is bothering you, just remember, Photoshop though into the arms of the armed that are paranoid that their freedoms are being taken away to get haircuts, and everything will be all right again. So I think that's been in the meantime with me.
I have one question before you go.
Yes, please.
The murder, a question behind apparently. The murder hornets, is that Washington State or Washington D.C.?
Washington State.
Oh damn.
Yeah. There's actually, there's more. That's the thing. There's things that kill people all the time, and there's like actual murderers, as far as like, I think the thing they call them the giant Asian murder hornets because of how apparently they leave colonies of bees, they behead them so they can feed the thoraxes of the bees to their little giant Asian murder hornet babies.
Oh.
And it's just one of these things. So my honest opinion, I think nature was just trying to help us out with this coronavirus, trying to like thin out the numbers so that we just have less potential victims of the giant Asian murder hornets. So that's why, we sometimes we just don't look a gift horse or we look a gift horse in the mouth. I don't know what the saying actually is, but yeah.
Right.
So
we need to count our blessings.
Very much so. Very much so. So.
Well, thanks, Mean Dave. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me. As always, wonderful to see you, Suzette. Have
You too.
a great rest of the show, everybody. And we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Yep. See you next week.
Awesome.
Okay. That's Mean Dave, and all his info is on the bottom of the screen. Whether you're watching on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, if you go back and you want to send him some coin, you can do that. His information was there. Also, don't forget Stab Comedy Theater doing a telethon to try to raise some money because we're all out of work. Are we ready for our next guest? Okay, cool. We're going to go next guest. We're going to go, this is a friend of mine and neighbor, and he's going to come spill some tea. Welcome to the show, Clifton Ellison. Oh, 1 second. I can't hear you. Oh, you're muted, honey. Oh, hey, now we can hear you. Hi.
And of course, the only pussy in my life. You wanted to make a cameo. Anyways, Lord, what a week. What a week, Your girl just got laid off, and she's enjoying her new life of Animal Crossing and reality TV and making it work, so.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you got laid off, but, one door closes and then another door should open from the pressure.
Exactly. So, it's the time that we got to support our girls, make sure we tip our entertainers, our DJs, our drag queens, make sure we subscribe to our friends' OnlyFans, and, don't judge a bitch if I make one too. Ow.
You know what? This is an economy of hustlers, and we got to do what we can do because, I don't know, most of us are probably like stage 2 or 3, and stage 3 is months, not weeks away. So whatever you do, OnlyFans or, a footy Instagram, you do you.
Oh, trust me, just having a good time with my little video games and everything. And honestly, I have really enjoyed the quarantine novellas. That's what I like to call them.
Okay.
You know, Facebook is very entertaining. I have a couple of ratchet cousins, and one of them is going back and forth with the baby mama of the other one, and I'm just kind of just sitting there just watching and reading. And honestly, like, if you're really bored, just lurk on Facebook. You'll find something good to keep you entertained. Don't comment because you'll get in it. But, you know, if you just lurk and screen cap and text your friends on the side, you know, it's a cute little entertainment thing. And it's really all I've been doing to keep myself occupied right now this past weekend. And copious amounts of alcohol and marijuana. But,
Sure.
you know.
And so to make sure I understand, those quarantine novellas, that's Facebook people.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you know when someone is a good quarantine novella? Like what gives it away?
When you see a post and you see like about 100 comments, you're like, "Oh, girl, let me just open this up real quick," and then you kind of scroll through, and you're just like, "Ooh," or it's like, "Oh, so you can be at her house, but you're not here with your kids," and da 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 da. And I'm just like, "Oh, so we're going there today." So it's like, you know, a lot of messiness though, and it's mostly straight people, but you know, the gays have it too. But
So
I like my drama when I'm not in it.
And you recommend not joining into the novella posting?
No.
Okay.
Don't.
Because I know a lot of people
Just
do
lurk.
like to get in.
Just lurk.
That's what I always say. I always try to tell people, if you see a pool and it has some clowns getting eaten by sharks, that's entertainment.
Mhm.
Don't get in the pool.
Yeah.
You can see it from outside the pool.
You can subscribe easily.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
the notifications turned on.
Mhm. Sometimes I know some people will click on those novellas following just so they get updates on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we're all going a little stir crazy and things of that nature, and hopefully everybody's keeping their head together. We can still have some fun.
We can.
You know?
You should think about what's the word? Curating a collection of these Facebook novellas, and maybe we can bind it and send it to a publisher or virtual publisher and sell it during the quarantine, and maybe you can get some coin off other people
Censor the names.
writing the drama.
Yeah. Just censor the names out, you know.
Okay. Is that all for you, love?
One last thing before I go. You know, with every bad thing, there's some good things. If you go on iTunes, my queen is the #1 right now with her album Glory by Britney Spears. So purchase Glory by Britney Spears for clear skin. It would do your body and your spirit wonders in this quarantine.
Just don't work out to it in your home gym while you have candles burning.
Yes, no candles burning. No vanilla candles.
Oh, Brittany.
Hey, what will we do?
I don't know. Well, thank you, love, for coming on again.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good week, and I'll see you soon. I mean, I'll probably see you when I get home. I'll wave to you through the window, but...
Exactly. In a non-stalkerish way, I'll wave to you back to the window, you know.
I appreciate that. This is too good looking to not be seen in life out in the world, so... Okay.
All right, well, bye.
Bye. Okay. That was Clifton Ellison, and all his information was on the screen. And as you heard, he just got laid off because the quarantine is doing that to some people and some businesses. So help me support Stab with their Stabathon, and all my contributors and guests tonight, if you can. If you can't, that's okay. We hope you're enjoying the show, and we hope it takes your mind off things for at least an hour, hour and a half, however long I can talk, right? And with that, I will start to introduce my next guest. He is a DJ, he produces a show, and then he also promotes a show for a pretty awful drag queen. I think he works for like one of the worst, helping her market her shows. And so he does a lot of work. And are we ready? We are ready. And so, peers and queers, help me welcome DJ Pocket.
Hello.
Hey, Pocket, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm okay. I always like to ask you, we'll just do this. We already did it today, but we'll do it again for everybody, because this is my favorite part of seeing you when I first see you. How do I look?
You look terrible.
Thank you, Pocket.
Awful.
Always can count on you to be there. In my introduction, I mentioned that you're a DJ, a promoter, and you market shows. A DJ, a producer, and a promoter. So let me get my list up here. Technology never works when you want it to. Tell me how you got into being a DJ. I actually think that's interesting. I don't know how someone becomes a DJ.
Okay, so let's see. Honestly, I never had like an idea when I was like, it wasn't like when I was a kid and I was like, yeah, I want to be a DJ. It was never nothing like that.
Right.
Music has always been something that I've paid very close attention to ever since I was a kid. Like I remember a lot of things about music from when I was probably like 5 years old that no one else would remember. So basically, since I didn't do any sports when I was a little gay kid, my mom decided that I should probably do something else, like other than just go to school and come home. So she thought that I would be good at dancing. So she put me in a hip hop class because basically I up until I got into that class, I would dance to Britney Spears videos. Just like glued to the fucking screen. Every time a new Britney video came out, I was enthralled and just dancing my fucking ass off. So my mom decided that I should probably do a dance class since I wasn't doing anything else, like I said. And that just got me like more involved in like the structure of music and like understanding, beats and everything. So that kind of gave me the knowledge, or somewhat of a knowledge before I actually started. So I did that, and that was like 5th grade until high school. And throughout high school, I was like, okay, done. Like I wasn't dancing anymore. I wasn't really doing anything. And then it kind of just so happened that I became somewhat good friends with some of the main DJs at Faces and Badlands out here in Sac. Pretty much as soon as I turned 21, I came out here to like get drunk all the time from Vacaville, where I grew up. And so I became friends with with some of the main DJs out here, and I found myself needing a job randomly in 2014. And the head DJ at Badlands at the time, he was like, you could probably pick this up pretty quickly. So I went to another friend of mine's house. He was a fellow DJ. He also works at Badlands currently, and he took his time to like teach me at his house. And the knowledge that I already had, prior, and then the technical aspects of it, which is what the other DJ taught me.
And the opportunity, and they needed somebody, and so that's cool. So your natural skills and affinity for things just kind of led you to a career that you never had really considered.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So this, I think my guest might find this interesting. Now that you've become a DJ and you're 21, how does a DJ pick a DJ name?
So that DJ that hired me or brought me into Badlands, he always called me Pocket because I'm small. I'm 5'5". I'm kind of petite, so it was just a nickname that he gave me like right off the bat. He always called me Mr. Pocket, and it wasn't even meant to be like all that serious, but just kind of for fun, I was like, I'm gonna give myself like a legit DJ name or legit DJ name, and we were just like, well, DJ Pocket seems to fit, since especially by that time when I decided to actually call myself that, everyone had already started calling me that just because of the stupid name that just kind of floated around the bar. So that's all that was.
Okay, so it kind of just happened again. Like you
Yeah.
you picked it, but it was already there. So,
Pretty much.
well, neat. Okay. Now, okay, I want you to explain to my audience, because you do it, I think you do this really well. What is the difference between what you do as a DJ, not just you, but you and other DJs who really take the art of being a DJ seriously, and somebody's nephew that gets hired to just play a couple songs at a bar mitzvah or a wedding?
Well, somebody, I mean, okay, well, first of all, I mean, somebody could very well be just kind of pushing play on a playlist when they do a wedding or a bar mitzvah, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those, I'm just going to call those special, or I mean, private events. So any DJ that's doing a private event, they you know, they're literally being hired to do whatever it is that the person hiring them wants them to do.
Right.
So if they give them a playlist to push play, then that's what they're going to do. But that doesn't mean that the DJ that they hire, that doesn't mean that they're not capable. That doesn't mean that they're not, you know, that doesn't mean that they're not out at a nightclub, you know, doing whatever it is that they do. It's just a matter of what the person hiring them wants them to do, honestly.
Okay, so then when you do a private event and you get hired to play a playlist, then it's best to just do that. When you're working at Badlands, which is, you know, the best bar in Sacramento, in my opinion, and where you work the most, when you're working at Badlands and you're playing a set, what do you do? Because you're not just playing a playlist.
So what most people ask me, like, right off the bat, is like, do you have like a set, you know, like list of songs that you want to go in there with, and just like, do you play them in a certain order, or blah blah blah? And my answer is always like, no, I don't do that. I have a lot of like go-tos. I have like basically in my head like bullet points of certain songs that I want to play throughout the night, but I can't know what to play necessarily until I see who's right in front of me, because I can only do so much. Like I can't stick to a certain list without knowing who's going to actually be there. Like, that doesn't even make sense, because, you know, something that works last night may not work tonight or the night after. Like, so I just have to wait and see who's right in front of me and then go off of that.
So in that way, I would say that what you do as a DJ sounds a little bit like what I do with comedy. I don't want to tell a joke. Like, I don't want to go into a set with like my list of jokes, because I don't know who's going to be in the audience, and they might not like my jokes. Like, I might have jokes about being young, and if it's all people in their 60s or 70s, they might not want to hear my jokes about being young.
Right.
Right? And so, okay, so then you kind of get an idea, but much like when I tell jokes, I can't just say like, hey, do you guys want to hear jokes about being young? You kind of just have to play a song and see how they react. And then
Exactly. Yeah.
So you play one song and then you play another song, and you kind of find what they like. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, so I'll play like a handful of some of the more popular songs from, like, I'll go, like, usually when I'm starting out, I'll go like within the last like 10 years to start off.
Mm-hmm.
At least. I mean, not all the time, but like a go-to, I guess, is I'll go like maybe 10 years back and kind of work my way up. But I'll just play, you know, a couple from like more dancey, or I might do something more like straight up pop, or I might go a little more urban, like more hip hop. I don't know. It just, I'll try and like kind of reach to every corner until I get something substantial, like until I see enough of a reaction.
And by reaction, you mean like people dancing, or people moving their body, or?
I'm sorry?
What kind of reaction are you looking for from the people on the dance floor?
So it's any kind of, that's going to be any kind of body language. Like early on in the night, as long as so okay, nobody wants to be the first person on the dance floor, right? So early on in the night, I'll be looking at the dance floor, but I'm also looking at the bar and around the dance floor, and just if they're dancing in place, still drinking their drink, having a good time, then I'm still good, you know. And then once I see people start to go to the dance floor, then obviously that's a good indicator. But once they're on the floor, it's just like, are they standing there on their phone? Like, are they kind of just swaying back and forth? Not really, like, you know, sometimes they don't look very engaged. And that tells me that it's okay, because they didn't leave the floor, but they're not really necessarily enjoying themselves thoroughly. So, you know, I'm doing something okay, but I could do better. It's literally little things like that.
That sounds a lot like what I do with stand-up comedy, where like nobody wants to be the first person to laugh. Like they don't want to be the only person laughing in the audience, except Robert Bess. Love you, Robert Bess. He's a local comedy fan. So if you can get like a couple people laughing or a couple people engaged in what you're doing, it's so much easier. Like the first person is the hardest, the second person is easier, and then every next person becomes easier to kind of get engaged.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sounds like that's what it is. Now I know this is becoming a Britney Spears centric episode. You love Britney Spears. I do. Do you try to play her in every set? Do you not? Do you want to? And sometimes you don't. Is there a certain point when you see people dancing that you're like, oh, this is a good moment for Britney Spears?
Lucky for me, you know, I tend to DJ for gay bars, so it's not that hard to successfully play a Britney Spears song in the night. So but that being said, yes, I do try and play Britney just because I want to, but at the same time, I know that a lot of people are still gonna like it, but I still don't. I'm not gonna play Britney like all night. I'm not gonna play a bunch of Britney like back to back or anything. Like I'm not gonna do that because I'm still there to do my job.
Right.
And if I did, you know what I mean? If I played a bunch of Britney that didn't make sense, then I wouldn't be doing my job.
Unless somebody hires you at a private event to play Britney songs with a list.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so that's what you do as a DJ. That's kind of how you became one and what you do now. And I think you're very good at it. What you're also good at is you produce a show, which in my experience, that's kind of unusual to see a DJ produce a recurring, consistent show. Would you say that that's semi-unusual as well?
Unusual? No, I don't think it's unusual. I mean, I've seen plenty of DJs attempt to start a new show at various venues. Mm-hmm. They're usually, at least from what I've seen, they're usually more they're more focused on the genre of music that they're going to play. And they just want to create like a party based on that. So like if you know, like they might want to create like a Latin party or whatever, or just like a house music or, you know, whatever. Like if a certain venue is lacking something, then I've seen a lot of DJs, you know, go and try and do their own party, focus on something like that.
But that's not so your show that you produce, it's not just to play a certain kind of music, right?
Right. So mine is it's a drag show. Mm-hmm. So it's Pride Night Vacaville, and yeah, it's mainly a drag show, and then I also DJ for it. So, yeah.
And you've been involved for how long?
2 years.
2 years. That's a really long time. I mean, that's good. Like a lot of shows don't make it that long. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What goes into producing a show?
It's it can be a lot more stress than a lot of people would imagine, I think. So I need to, other than setting a date and everything, you know, I need to figure out who I'm going to book. And that's based on like who I think that the audience is going to like. I try to give them something new every time, or different, more or less. Or if I know that they like somebody in particular, then, you know, I'll bring them back, you know, every so often or whatever. So it's trying to figure out exactly who you should book and when to book them. And it's all like the promoting thing, like you got to make it look exciting. I mean, even it could essentially, honestly, it could essentially be more or less the same ish show, but as long as you make it kind of stand out, like in some way a little bit differently than the last one, then you're kind of golden. But yeah, there's that. And but what really, like when you're there though, like, so for me when I'm there, since I have to DJ for it as well, it's a little bit difficult because I can't do it all on my own. Because I need to make sure that everything is in place, like when the show is actually happening. And I can't leave my booth because I'm also DJing, right?
Right.
So that's where I have my best friend, Jonathan. He comes in and he's my stage manager, and he makes sure that everything backstage is happening the way that it should.
Yeah. I think I just want to echo
there's that. And then pretty much like from the time the show is actually happening until the end, like you need to make sure that everyone is paid on time. You know, unless you have something else worked out, like with them prior or whatever, but make sure that everyone's paid on time. And that's not always easy. Not necessarily getting paid on time, but like just getting the payments in order, I guess. That can be a whole other thing sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, I can echo that. There's a lot that goes into producing a live show.
I can hear you.
Oh, is this better? Can you hear me now? Oh, we're having some technical problem.
I can't hear you.
Jesse, they can't hear me anymore.
Hello.
Okay, let's see.
Is your volume up, Pocket?
There we go.
Oh, cool. All right. So yeah, I was just gonna say that I can definitely echo what you said. It's really important to have somebody to help you run a show, especially if you're on stage the whole time or in a booth the whole time. That's one of the elements, in my opinion, because I produce live shows too, is having someone who can stage manage or show run, like you mentioned. So
right.
Definitely shout outs to Jonathan there. What's the future of Pride Night in Vacaville?
You know, I hope to continue as long as I possibly can. I've already been through I've been through one venue change already. Within the last let's see, I guess 6 months or so. So I had to deal with that, changing to a brand new venue like literally overnight, which was a challenge. And but I mean, ever since that happened, we're still powering through, and we're still making sure that we do what we do, you know. Whatever may or may not happen, Jonathan and I are gonna at least make sure that it stays around as long as we possibly can, because I grew up in Vacaville and I would like to keep the show in that area, because there's nothing for the LGBTQ community out there, you know, especially not a drag show. Like, you know, people are so used to going to San Francisco and Sacramento for the excitement. And I'm super happy to provide a smaller version of either one of those right in their hometown, or at least my hometown. So we're gonna if we have to move venues again, then so be it. You know, we're gonna keep fighting to keep it alive.
Very cool. I think it's great that you guys do the show in Vacaville and keep it going. So if anyone wants to stay following you, they can follow you at Pride Night Live. Pride Night Live Vacaville?
Pride Night Vacaville.
Pride Night Vacaville. Sorry, I mixed up the next thing I was going to talk about, which is you've actually, for the time being, during COVID world, you've moved your show onto the internet and you have Pride Night Live. When is the next Pride Night Live?
So the first Pride Night Live is this coming Saturday, May 9th.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be at 8 p.m. on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Pride Night Vacaville, or you can also go to pridenightVacaville.com and it'll automatically direct you to the Twitch page. Yeah, that's this coming Saturday the 9th.
Okay.
8 p.m. I have Helen Heels from Stockton and Sasha Devereaux from Modesto. And then my regular, Vacaville cast is going to be there. It's a small show compared to a lot of the other online shows that are happening right now. It's a smaller show, but it's, I'm trying to reach out to that same, Vacaville crowd that I had before. So it's not even necessary. I mean, anyone can watch it, obviously.
Right.
But I'm still trying to focus on a crowd that doesn't typically get that stuff.
I think that's great. You're catering to Vacaville first, and then if anyone else wants to join in, they're welcome to. So that's what you do as a producer. You also work as a promoter, and you promote shows for mostly LOL GBT Presents. What do you do for that?
For you, well, I make a lot of graphics, which is so I make a lot of graphics, and then I do a lot of the posting on social media, and this isn't really this whole aspect of what I'm doing is honestly, it's a newer thing for me. I'm just happy to be able to explore that realm, because I know that I have knowledge about it, and I feel like I'm fairly good at it, at least. So I at least, I want to keep trying to I guess just kind of just improving something to myself, I guess. And I'm happy to help you. And I thank you for giving me, that opportunity to expand, I guess, expand my knowledge.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, I mean, I won't get too in depth about this because everyone at home probably doesn't want to produce their own live show, but I think there are five parts to producing a show, and you mentioned stage managing or show running is one, and I think promotions and marketing is certainly another one of the 5 kind of core elements of producing a show.
Huge part.
And it's one that I'm actually terrible at, so your help is much appreciated. Speaking of that you work with me, what's it like to work with me? Tell the people at home.
What is it like to work with you? You're a pain in the ass. No, I mean, you I don't even know how to describe you. You're jokingly a pain in the ass, but I love you.
I do.
I don't even know.
We can let you think about it and bring you back sometime.
What's up?
I said, well, I don't need to put you on the spot. You can think about it. We'll bring you back sometime. You don't have to.
Sure.
What I do want to ask about is when you DJ my shows, everyone always asks me, oh, hey, does your DJ hate you? Does he hate some of your comics? Because you have a face when you're working. Can you tell people?
I tend to, if I'm okay, if I'm not talking to somebody, or if I'm just kind of sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to have a stank face. Like I don't know. I get that all the time. People always think that I'm angry or upset or whatever, or bored or whatever it is, and the truth is I'm not necessarily. It's just my face.
So it's just resting
It's
poker
my
face.
face.
Okay. I have one viewer question for you. This is from
Word.
Taryn in Sacramento. Who is your favorite RuPaul's Drag Race queen and why?
Oh, my favorite Drag Race queen and why? I'm gonna go with my favorite that we've had at Badlands, and that would be Trinity the Tuck Taylor. And my reasoning is that I haven't seen, and but Badlands has had a shit ton of the Drag Race girls. So based on all of that, Trinity has a presence about her, like when the way that she talks to the audience and everything. I haven't seen any other contestant that we've had. I haven't seen any of them necessarily talk to people the way that Trinity does. It was like I don't know, like it was like talking to your best friend, I guess. Like she was just very very personable, and just like she talked to you like you were her equal, and it was just refreshing. Not that other queens don't do that. It's just the way that, I don't know, it's just the way that Trinity, in my opinion, the way that Trinity did it or does it is just
seems really natural.
It's natural. It's just something that I haven't seen a lot.
Right on. Are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Sure.
Okay. What's your dream DJ gig?
Oh shit. This doesn't really work because this isn't rapid fire because I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe there isn't like a DJ gig that you aspire to have. I thought maybe there would be.
Oh wait, you know what? It would be cool to be one of the like headlining DJs at Pride or Rainbow Festival.
Okay, I would love to see that. What is the coolest thing a person in the crowd has ever told you after you DJ'd a set?
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
What's the coolest thing a person in the crowd has ever told you after you DJ'd a set?
Oof. You know what? Honestly, one of my favorite things that I'll always remember was Willem from RuPaul's Drag Race. She was upstairs. This is at Badlands, and she was upstairs doing her meet and greets, and it was later in the night. I'm doing my thing, and a coworker came from upstairs to the booth and was like, "Yo, Willem is really enjoying this," and she was like, "This DJ set is lit, and this is fantastic." And it was really cool to hear that from somebody that I guess.
She entertains you, and it was really cool that you entertained her. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. What's your favorite type of venue to play?
Nightclubs. I mean, that's where I started, and that's what I know best. I get nervous when I get nervous if I have to do private events. They're cool to do. It's just I get nervous. That's not really necessarily a bad thing, but it's just I haven't done a lot of private events. So when I get that opportunity, I get really nervous, and I'm not as nervous when I'm at a nightclub.
What is your secret weapon song?
Secret weapon song?
Mm-hmm. Does such a song exist for you?
Well, I don't. That's a little tough because that's going to change based on what's current. However, I'll go with my signature closing song. Pretty much no matter where I'm at, my signature closing song is "Leave, Get Out" by JoJo. It's such a like nostalgic, you know, throwback that, I mean, everybody loves it as soon as they hear it, and it's also telling people to leave and get out of the bar.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
So
What's your favorite Britney song?
Every time.
Who is the most universal artist?
One more time.
Who's the most universal artist? You can play them for
Universal.
anybody.
Wait, what?
Who is the artist that you can play for almost any crowd?
Shit. Hell.
Maybe there's not one.
I guess, you know, Flow Rida Low, like that's a pretty universal one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah. I was gonna say like Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande, but that depends.
What is the worst thing about working with me?
The worst thing about working with you,
Mhm.
I don't always understand what the hell you're saying.
Yeah. What's the best thing about working with me?
You're very open, and you're like, as long as we sit down and like discuss whatever it is, like you're easy to like we'll get it figured out. Like you're very, very understanding, and you know, we can easily go back and forth and just find a solution or whatever, you know, whatever it is.
You DJ a lot of my comedy shows, so it doesn't have to be someone you've seen, but who is your favorite comic?
Favorite comic? Well, it's not you. So
Fair.
you know, I'm gonna say my favorite comic is Anthony Jeselnik.
Okay, I didn't see that coming. Let's see. Toilet paper over or under? Like, do you hang it over or do you hang it under?
Over.
I agree. Who is your favorite drag queen overall?
Drag queen overall, Bianca Del Rio.
If you were a Disney princess, who would you be?
Ariel.
If I was a Disney princess, who would I be?
A combination of Sleeping Beauty and then what was the other one?
Oh, Chelsea's answer last week?
Damn it. Huh?
Chelsea's answer last week?
Yeah.
That's Ariel when she doesn't know how to be human.
Yeah, so I'm going to combine the two.
Okay. And what's your favorite thing about brunch?
About brunch, my favorite thing about brunch is I just like the fact that there's a drag brunch that, you know, that we can give to people, because I mean, drag brunch is always such a fun thing, and like, yeah, it's just fun.
Right on.
Anywhere that I go, I'd love to find a good brunch spot. If there's a drag brunch, then even better.
Right.
It's fun.
Okay, my last question, not rapid fire. What are you most looking forward to doing once quarantine is lifted and everyone can go back out?
Seeing everybody, seeing like you guys in person, and seeing all the drag queens that I haven't been able to see in so long. I mean, I'm around these people every single day, and now I'm not, and it's just, you know, like you all like mean a lot to me, so I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to DJ again, like for an actual crowd.
I'm excited to see you again
and
too.
to hopefully do another show for an actual crowd.
Yes, soon please. Well, thank you for spending some time with us today, Pocket. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and your info's on the screen, so if anyone wants to drop you some coin, even $1 is appreciated. We're all out of work, so just a reminder to everyone, we're bringing this show to you from the bottom of our hearts and appreciate anything even if it's just your love back. So thanks, Pocket, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Pocket, DJ Pocket. He is a joy to work with. My shows are so much better because of him, and he plays a mean DJ set. So if you ever are around and he's going to DJ a show, you'll make sure to stay because it's going to be a good show. Are we ready with the next guest?
We're going with David next?
We're going to go with Yayah.
Okay, then give me a second.
Okay, so the next guest is one of my favorite drag queens. I love her so much. She's near and dear to my heart, and I love to watch any number she's in, and I try to book her, frankly, as much as I can because she is a crowd pleaser. She was just in the online drag event tonight where she debuted a brand new song, and I don't mean she lip-synced a song, I mean she live sang a song because that's one of the tools in her toolkit. And we're pulling her up now. So you'll want to make sure that you see this queen in person if you can.
Yeah, I was just trying to shake this a little bit. We don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Peers and queers, welcome to the show, Yayah.
There she is.
Oh, she's muted.
She's got to unmute herself. There you go.
There.
Are we good? We good?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. How are you?
I'm pretty good, hanging in there.
Yeah, you look great.
Thanks.
So you released a new song tonight on the online drag event.
I did.
How did it go?
It was really good. I was pretty early in the lineup, which I was happy about. Yeah, it was pretty exciting. It's called Shut Up. It's going to be on iTunes, Spotify, all of that, at 9 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
So at
So
9 o'clock, everyone will hear it, and then I'll probably go ahead and post the video on my Instagram TV.
Nice. So if people want to see that video, Instagram TV, sometime tonight or tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Really quick before I get into everything else, you made a video. Do you have any advice for people that might be making drag videos anytime soon?
Yeah, if you're like pre-filming your video prior to the actual event, take advantage of that, produce something kind of cool because in this, kind of unprecedented era, we have the opportunity to really showcase like a more artistic side of drag. So if you have an opportunity to pre-film, take advantage of it, make something cool. It doesn't have to be like super professional or anything. There's so many cool apps that you can download to edit videos. So take advantage of that. Overdub your music because there's nothing worse than like someone on live and you just hear them like lip syncing and like you can like hear them walking and the AC running and the dog barking.
Oh God.
It's not a good time.
Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity to like produce your stuff, make it cool.
Well, your video is not going to have any breathing or footsteps sounds. I know that.
Maybe.
Okay, it might. So you sing. You can sing. Like you really have albums that people can go on Spotify and iTunes and they can listen to. That is not how the majority of drag queens perform. I mean, some do. I don't want to say you're the only one. But what's the response you get when you sing live?
That's a tough one because it's like, on social media, I feel like I get a lot of positive feedback on being, a musician who's also doing drag. I feel like that kind of puts me in a league of my own. There's not a whole lot of people that do that. But like in real life, when you're at the clubs and you're like singing at a club on the mic during a drag show,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are like, huh? And that's when a lot of people like take their bathroom break or they kind of withdraw. Like singing live at a gay club during a drag show is honestly not my ideal situation. It's definitely kind of awkward sometimes. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm glad that it sets me apart.
Yeah, it totally does. And I mean, even if somebody sees you not sing live in a club and they search you on Google, they can find out, oh my God, she has albums. I can listen to her still. Like her, I can actually listen to her.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Another thing that I think is a lot of people know about you is you have really cool looks. Like tonight, you're in a cool look. What are some of your favorite looks?
A lot of my favorite looks have been photographed by my friend Chris Bogard. So recently we did this photo shoot where I made this gown out of this really tacky floral print. And since it was so cheap, I purchased like an additional 5 yards to use as backdrop for the photos. So that was like one of my favorite looks and compositions. I really like this look. I generally wear it like with my face painted blue and like a more like cutesy little wig. But yeah, I made this one. I made that gown. Trying to think what else I've done. I don't know. I like all my looks. They're pretty cute.
Yeah,
I
really.
made this like little,
go
little
ahead.
turquoise that was cute.
I was just going to say, if anyone goes to your Instagram or Facebook and they look
Yeah,
at the pictures,
yeah,
they will see so many different good looks.
My little sunflower dress with the little sunflower on my head. That one was really cute. I like that one a lot.
I like that one. You're also like unfairly funny. So what are some of your favorite funny numbers?
I think anybody who's seen me perform would say that my recorder number is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a crowd pleaser too.
It is.
I do My Heart Will Go On, and then like the interludes, I like play the recorder. I love doing that one. When I first made it, it was really hard for me to perform because I was like trying so hard not to laugh.
Is that online anywhere?
One is,
Is that online anywhere? Do you know?
I'm sure. Yeah, Becca Be a Dragon. I'm sure she has like 9 videos of me performing that at every club in North California. So, yeah, it's probably online. I really like Seventh Element by Vitas too. It's in Russian, so it took me a second to learn, but that one's really, really fun too, which you can probably find on Becca's YouTube as well.
That's Becca B. Dragon. If anyone is watching, she has all of the videos from all of the performances that she sees in mostly Northern California, but I mean, you should check it out. When you learn Russian for a lip sync, do you read it? Do you listen to it a lot? How do you learn that?
A lot of it was just like playing it over and over and over and over again, and just like kind of not even translating it, but more so just like picking out the sounds and stuff. Because there's even songs in English. There's so many songs where I'm like, I don't know the words at all, but I can perform it because I know what the words sound like and what they look like when you're lip syncing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of Grimes music, I'm like, I don't know what she's saying, but I could make it look like I know what she's saying because it's like sounds.
Right.
And you learn how to make those sounds with your mouth.
So you're selling it even though you might not understand it, whether it's Russian or Grimes, you can still sell it. Yeah, I am not surprised to hear that you're pretty good at that. Have you ever, so you mentioned that it's kind of not ideal to sing live during a drag show. Do you ever cover your own, like, do you ever lip sync your own song?
Yeah, and that's awkward too.
Oh no.
It's like I'm lip syncing my music, but I'm really singing it anyway. I just don't have a microphone, you know? So like I'm in the club so loud that I'm singing, but it's like my track is over it, so it looks like I'm lip syncing. But yeah, lip syncing my music is weird too, because it's like, why am I lip syncing this? Because I can sing it, you know? I sang it in the studio and I can sing it at the club, but it's just, you know, sometimes it's just weird. I don't know.
No, I get that. You've released 3 albums, am I right?
No.
Oh.
So I've released 1 album in 2015 called Dreamland. And then I followed up with an EP. And so EP stands for Extended Play, is essentially like it's not a single, but it's not an album. It's just a collection of songs that, you know, it's usually anywhere between like 3 to 7 songs. So it's just a short little, you know, collection of tracks. So I did that after I released the album. And then I'm working on my second full album.
Okay. And that's exciting to be working on an album. What goes into working on it?
Well, I do everything completely by myself. I write all my music, I produce all my music, I sing, I play all the instruments, I produce, I engineer, I master. And those are all skills that I've learned growing up. You know, my mom was a musician. And she also was like a self-taught, self-produced, very hands-on person in the studio. So I learned a lot of my skills from her and a lot of her friends. So I've just got this like nasty little studio set up in our garage. Everything's super old. We bought everything probably like 15 years ago. And I have like this old laptop and I just do everything in this garage and I do it myself. So it takes a little bit of time because I don't have like a producer or an engineer or like other people I'm writing with to kind of bounce ideas off of. So it's really just a lot of trusting myself, and, you know, I'll write 20 songs and then decide that I like 3 songs out of that. So it's a long process for sure.
I can relate, not in terms of being able to sing or write songs, but when I write jokes, like sometimes you write like 20 jokes and you're like, oh my God, these are all crappy except these 2.
Mm-hmm. And it's even applicable in drag too. You know, there's so many numbers that come to mind, and it's like, maybe to me that would be funny, or, you know, it's, a lot of the times it's like, you'll have an idea for a number and you put the mix together and you run it a couple times and you're like, okay, maybe I'm not feeling that. So a lot of being like a self-driven artist is having the ability to like critique your own work and know that like, okay, maybe that's not great. So let's go back to the drawing board. And, you know, for musicians and artists and comics and performers, it's like, you're going to have 100 ideas, but maybe only 10 of them are going to be, you know, something you're going to run with.
Right.
So.
I am not as independently strong as you, and I just am grateful that you're always there for me to ask you my ideas, because I do that a lot. And it is hard to know, like, is this... Say it again?
You need people to run ideas off of, because it's like, you know, as an artist, it's like if you try to trust yourself on everything, you're going to like go crazy, because it's a lot. So, you know, I'm really grateful that I have Rosalie Valentine, Jordo, my boyfriend, because we can kind of just bounce ideas off of each other. And it's nice to have someone that you can be super real and organic with, because it's like, you know, a lot of the times when you're kind of friends with someone and they run this idea off of you casually, you're like, oh yeah, it sounds great, you should do it. And then they do it and it's bad. And then you're like, oh, sorry, girl. You know, it's nice to have somebody that you can be super honest with and be like, that's not going to work. And then sometimes that pushes them to, you know, make it work and then prove you wrong. So it's nice to have someone to work with and run stuff off of.
Right on. And so if anyone watching remembers last week's guest, Rosalia Valentine, that's who you're talking about. I mean, you said her name, but just so people can connect the dots. So how many instruments do you play? You mentioned that you play all the instruments.
Yeah. So when I first started performing, or not performing, but like learning music, I was probably like 10. I had dabbled before, obviously, as a small kid with poor motor skills. You don't jump into it too much. But around the age of 10, I really got into the drums. So that was like my thing from like ages 10 through high school. I was like percussion and band at school. I played drums in a couple of punk bands as a teenager. So drums was really what I was like super into. And then as I like got older, I realized, okay, it's a little harder to trust other musicians to like get in the studio and do shows and get together a band of people that can all be at the same place at the same time. So for the sake of like recording, I kind of forced myself to learn how to play the guitar and the bass and the keyboard and the piano. And, you know, a lot of shows that I did were like acoustic or at smaller venues where I just bring your guitar, sit down, plug it in, and, you know, do an acoustic set. So, you know, playing acoustic guitar was a big part of learning how to trust myself as well. So yeah, I play pretty much everything because I forced myself to, because no one else is going to do it for me.
I think that's cool that you do it all yourself. It's and it's good music. People should go check it out right now. Where's your favorite place for them to find your music?
I stream on Apple Music. That's just preference. A lot of people choose to stream on Spotify. I'm a Spotify fan. So I say stream it on Apple Music. In a perfect world, purchase it on iTunes and support your local musicians, because streaming doesn't really garnish revenue for smaller artists. No one's going to go to my spot and want to run ads because it's I'm not Ariana Grande or John, where like more money for them. So I say purchase it on or where.
Yeah, no, supporting local artists, because like you're well known, and so the more people that support you, the more people can get to know you more outside of the community, because within the community everybody knows who you are, but it'd be great if people outside of the community also could recognize your talent.
Yeah, I agree.
One of the things that you are, I'm gonna say you're a little this you're not as seasoned as singing and making your own music and drag. One of the things you've recently started doing is producing a show. Would you like to tell us about the show that you produce?
Yeah, so I mean, you know all about it.
I do.
You're part of it. So it's Fierce, Fresh, and Fabulous at Stab Comedy Theater on Broadway every fourth Saturday when, people aren't out there spreading COVID-19. And it's, to showcase the talent in the local drag scene. I think there's something really cool about young artists, diving into a new craft. There's something so magical about, diving into something and not really knowing, the ins and outs, and not being, but the drive is that passion when you start something. After you do something for a while, it starts turning into, hey, am I doing this for the money? Am I doing this for the fans? Am I doing, everyone has their different motives, but I think when someone's really young and when they start out in something, they do it because they love to do it. And I think that's why doing the show for the younger people in our area is that they come to this show with some of the coolest performances that I've seen out of the show, because they're not bogged down with like the pressure of, doing 5 shows. So, I think it's really cool supporting young artists when they're first starting out, because as I get kind of jaded as we, progress. So I think it's important to foster that imagination early on.
Right on. I agree with you. I think it's really great to have that show here at Stab when COVID's not happening, because it people are always so impressed with the under 21 queens. So that's kind of we book under 21 queens because they can't perform in bars, and people have told me outside of the theater, they're like, oh my god, I stopped by tonight and I wasn't expecting much, because it's like they can't perform in bars, but like, wow, they're good. And I was like, right, they're really good. Like, they bring so much to the show that it doesn't matter if they're not getting booked at every bar all the time. They're still giving an amazing show every time that they perform.
Totally.
What is the future of drag? So with the future generation, like, what do you see coming?
That's a question I think about a lot, actually, and I talk about that a lot with Rosalia. Just the future of drag in general and the future generations of drag. I think we're really, really overwhelmed with content in all forms of media. I think musicians are expected to release constantly, and artists are, TV shows and movies, everything like so fast, and drag so fast. It's like we get a new season of Drag Race every 3 hours, and I think that's really toxic for the community. So, not to sound bitter, but I feel there's something negative about that, and it scares me for the future, because eventually, when all of these big, mainstream drag things stop or, whatever happens. It's like, how's that affect the local scene? Because you've got people like RuPaul who created like their own of drag. Because of RuPaul, local bars are staffed and there's viewing parties, local people doing hair and costume, and all of these content creators, you've got DragCon. So, there's like, it's so vivacious and alive, but it's also, people, when that goes away, what's going to happen? So I think the future of drag is definitely kind of in this weird gray area right now. But when I do see these young artists that are it's like, they give me hope again that, like, okay, even if this, all goes underground, there's a generation of people that still love to do it. And I think, whether it's mainstream or whether it's underground or whatever, I think the younger generation is always gonna, give us something to look for.
I think that's a really interesting take, and I think that's a really hopeful way. Like, they are always going to give us something to look forward to, and hopefully there always is a place for them to perform. And like we kind of touched on, that's why we have Fierce, Fresh, and Fabulous, to give them a place to perform. So, if somebody came to you and they said, hey, you know a lot about drag queens under 21. What should we do locally or nationally to kind of encourage people to be able to do that? What would you say?
More shows,
Shows.
Just find more venues that are willing to host shows for the performers. Follow them on social media, follow them on Venmo, on YouTube, wherever you can, support them, like their post, comment on the post, everything is very, what's the word? Algorithm, so it's like, if you comment and like somebody's stuff, it's more likely to show up in other people's feeds. So interact with people on social media if you can't interact with them in person.
Right.
That's our media, more shows, just, whatever you can.
If you see it and you like it, make sure you tap on it, make sure you like it. That way more people will see it and like it. So
share everything, yeah.
And all of this is something you kind of lived, being an under 21 drag queen. But you actually found your own way to perform. Do you want to tell my audience about that?
Yeah, totally. I think there's definitely a stigma around being an under 21 queen. And part of my goal as a drag queen is to like break that. But when I first started out in drag, I did not want to be labeled a baby queen or, feel like I had to pay my dues, because I had worked so hard from the age of 10 doing music and performing in bands that I was like, okay, I'm jumping to this new art form. I definitely don't want to get into it and have people label me as this like newbie. So, I sat in my room and practiced makeup for 6 months before I ever stepped out. I made sure that I looked really fucking cute. So I threw a wig on my head and I walked right into the club as if I, had been going there for years.
And so this is before you were 21?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I went to the club, I was 19. And it was just, I literally, I just got in drag and walked in. And, I think I was so confident in doing that nobody questioned it. So
yeah. We won't say which club, which bar, but there might have been some out of town bars. There are some other bars that you just walked in, and we're not recommending that to anybody.
No. Oh,
because people have very good bouncers. You were lucky that you got away with it. But
yeah, I was being a degenerate punk, and I put a lot of my friends in jeopardy by doing that. And I, part of me regrets it, and part of me is like, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm glad I did what I did when I did it. But, had we gotten caught, it would have been really ugly. So, I definitely don't recommend that anybody do that. And that's why part of my goal now is to break the stigma of being a baby queen, because it's like nobody wants to start something and then immediately be discredited because they're new.
Right.
And so, you know, don't sneak into the clubs. If you do sneak into the clubs and you're not 21, don't drink. I didn't drink until I was 21 at the clubs. So, you know, that's my recommendation is don't do that, because you could really screw yourself over and your friends if you get caught.
No,
especially
I mean, it's a good story, and I'm glad you were able to for you, and like you said, like you're very successful, and I mean, you didn't say that, I'm saying that, but like you are where you are because you've been able to do it so long. But now that like we've started a show for under 21 queens, and hopefully other people do too, and give them opportunities, they don't really need to sneak into the bars. They can kind of hopefully be ready to go once they're 21.
Totally. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, when I started drag, there wasn't anybody putting on shows for younger queens. So I was like, if I want to do this, I got to just walk in.
Well,
you know,
I'm glad it worked for you, and I'm glad nobody got in trouble, and I think we're past the statute of limitations.
Me too.
So ABDC
we almost got in trouble like the week before my 21st birthday. I won't say which club, but one of the clubs had security footage of a certain queen walking in through the back door being let in by another queen in the show. And so I started hearing rumors that like, oh, the clubs are going to start cracking down. They have video footage of people sneaking in. And I'm just over here like, uh-oh. So.
But then you turned 21.
I turned 21. Whatever.
What is next for you?
That's a great question. I guess we'll see. Every day is different now. This, you know, whole quarantine. So what I've been doing is working on my music. I'm really, really, really excited for that together right now. I definitely am going to try to have that out in the near future. That's been kind of my art priority as of late, just because getting in drag isn't something that I'm doing as much. But, you know, once this is all over, I would start getting more into drag again, and doing a lot more music. And I would love to find ways to perform my music outside of the drag venues. I would love to go on tour. I've been hounding my friend in one of her bands. I won't say which band, just to avoid putting her on the spot. But I've been like ragging on her, like, when you guys go on tour, let me know. I will open for you. I'm easy to work with. I will show up with my laptop and my keyboard and do a 30-minute set. I just want to tour and do music and have a blast.
That sounds awesome. I hope that happens as the minute quarantine is lifted for you.
Me too.
And I hope more people can experience you as an artist. Really quick, sometimes on social media it's Yayah the artist, and some people just say Yayah. Which do you prefer?
You know, Yayah the artist was originally something I chose as just an Instagram handle because Yayah was taken.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I get billed on a lot of shows and flyers as Yayah the artist because that's my social media handle, and it has a. So I say, you know, each their own, whatever you want to call me.
So it was just a social media handle mishap.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some drag names that you didn't choose?
Fiona Snapple was an option. Yvonne was an option. That's my grandma's name, who died like the year before I was born. And that was something I was gonna, you know, tap into. Was, you know, she was very like 40s, beautiful, like classic hair, classic, you know, silhouettes, and that I was, you know, really excited to maybe do that. But, you know, I think in choosing Yayah, I definitely made the right choice because it's not hyper feminine, it's not masculine, and I feel like that's what my drag is. I don't identify as, you know, a female in drag or a male in drag, and I think my drag is very just centered on performing and, you know, putting together interesting looks that aren't based on, you know, passing as a woman or whatever. You know, every drag queen does drag for different reasons. For me, it's definitely not always female information. So I chose more androgynous name.
I think Yayah is, I mean, I've never called you anything else, but I think it fits you so well. So definitely a good choice on going with that. Are you ready? Oh, I'm sorry. Viewer questions. I have two.
Okay.
This one is from Rosie in Sacramento. What is your biggest fashion pet peeve in drag?
I'm not even going to acknowledge the in drag part. My biggest fashion pet peeve, one of them is I hate like boots with pencil skirts where you're just showing like a little bit of knee. I think that's stupid. And ugly. I'm trying to think what else in drag I don't like. It's hard for me to come up with something on the spot, but when I see it, I'm usually like,
oh, I think
disgusting.
You don't like that belt.
Oh my God, yeah, stupid WWE looking belt that's like allegedly a corset. Right? Not a corset. It's
wear
not
a corset or a belt. Don't wear a corset.
Yeah, it accentuates your waist in the worst possible way, and 99% of the time it does not match anything anybody's wearing. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the one.
I thought so. I didn't ask the question, but I thought, I was like, oh, I know the answer to this one. But I do like your answer, pencil skirts and boots. Next question is from Taryn in Sacramento. Exactly which day and which bar was it that you snuck into before you were 21?
She's a fucking narc. I'm not answering
She is.
that.
I don't even know if she watches the show. She just likes to ask the questions.
First time I got in drag and walked to the club was, I want to say, January 14th, 2016.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get anybody's liquor license revoked, so.
Right, or a door guy fired. We'll just say we don't know. Taryn, sorry.
Right. I don't know. I don't remember.
Knows? Are you ready to play rapid fire questions?
I guess. Let's go for it.
Okay. What is your favorite genre to play as a musician?
Electronic, new wave, pop music.
What is your favorite thing about brunch?
Everyone's really drunk, and they're there to be drunk and have fun, and that's literally the whole point.
Right. Who is your favorite drag queen?
My favorite drag queen. I mean, in terms of like Drag Race,
it can be. You can. I mean, you can define the parameters as you wish.
My favorite drag queen. Me.
I think you're one of my favorites. Who's your favorite musician?
My mom.
Oh, that's a cool answer. What is your favorite wig color?
Wig?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I love a good ginger moment.
Oh, a ginger girl. And do you name your wigs?
I style my wigs. I definitely don't like sew the hair into the cap or nothing, but yeah, I style a lot of my own wigs. Obviously, I'm wearing a little chick chop right now, but
oh, I didn't say it clearly. Do you name them? Like give them
name
names?
them? I thought you said make them.
Oh.
I usually just name them whatever the stock name is for them.
Oh. I don't even know stock names for wigs. That's a good answer.
Well, did you like buy them from like the bulk like beauty supply shops online?
Mm-hmm.
Like the wholesale, beauty supply ones. They usually have like cute little sassy names.
Oh my God! So like there could be a wig named like, I mean probably less chance the wig will be named Yayah, but like there could be a wig named like Rosalia.
There is a
or
wig
Suzette.
named Yayah.
Oh, there
I own
is.
It.
Do you like it?
Yeah. No.
Oh, is there a Rosalia?
I don't know.
Okay.
My first ever wig was Trina.
Trina. Oh.
Yeah.
It's a good rapper. When you put on a bra, do you clasp it in front, or do you spin it around, or do you clasp it in back?
Yeah, front around.
And front and spin. Me too. Okay. How high is too high for high heels?
Anything above 6 is usually pretty miserable.
Yeah, agreed.
Unless it's a platform, then it's like whatever.
Yeah, I only do stilettos, so 6 inches is about the max for that.
Yeah.
What is your favorite show or venue to perform in?
I love Fridays Are Drag is really, really fun.
Right on.
I bet.
I can't wait for it to come back.
I know, me too.
What is your favorite song to perform to?
Before quarantine, I was doing Hella Good by No Doubt a lot. And that one was really fun.
Right on. What is the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a show?
Not an audience member, but Julie on a budget. I took my lashes off and she wanted to keep them.
She is on a budget, for real. She was like, I'll
For
wear
real.
those, yeah.
I think she wears them, though. I don't even think she wears them.
Oh. She just has a
Yeah.
little Yayah shrine,
Just
maybe.
Shit.
Do you cook or bake?
I try.
Which one? Both?
Both, yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, baking's more of a process, but
Mhm.
I'll bake if I gotta bake. Baking's fun.
I think so. Someone is buying us shots at the bar. What are we shooting?
Don Julio, Reposado,
Someone's buying us drinks. What are we drinking?
Crown and Coke.
That's a good one. Toilet paper, hang it over or hang it under?
Over.
Always. If you were a Disney princess, who would you be?
Is Rufus from Kim Possible the Disney princess?
I mean, if that's your answer, that counts.
That's my answer.
The Neck and Mole Rat. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm too old for Kim Possible, so. If I was a Disney princess, who would I be?
Maybe Alice?
Oh.
I know you think you're Belle or Cinderella. I think that's what you do a lot. But Alice, because she was kind of goofy and clumsy. Oh, she's not a princess, though. She's not a princess.
But I do want to do an Alice number. I'll have to run it by you now.
Yeah.
I think it counts.
She's
She's blonde. She's in the Disney movie. I'll take it. And finally, thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it so much. But before you go, what are you most excited about when quarantine is lifted and we can all just be out in public again?
Just smooching everybody. Kiss them all.
Well, I will get you a Crown and Coke as soon as we can drink together.
Yay!
Thank you so much for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, really. If you ever want to come back and do some how-to segments or anything, I think you have a lot of knowledge to share.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm down.
Right on. All right, well, have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you later.
Bye. That was Yayah. Make sure to check her out on Apple iTunes, where you can buy her shows, or her songs, sorry, and check out her shows in person when shows come back and they're a real thing. And she's going to release her video, and I bet it's going to be a good one. So you want to check that out on Instagram TV tonight after 9 p.m. She's going to put up the song, and the video should be up shortly, sometime after maybe. So that was Yayah. And again, if you can donate anything to any of the performers or contributors in tonight's show, that's appreciated. Or to Stab Comedy Theater. They're having their Stabathon, and that's appreciated also. Are we ready for... Okay, so we had to skip him last week. We are going to bring him back this week. David Shapiro, local comedy producer, actor, David Shapiro. Hi, David. Oh.
Yeah, hi Suzette. Thanks again for having me back.
Okay,
sorry about last week. Probably your fault, actually.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, I did. I am sorry to say, though, that Practical Germophobia is taking just a little bit longer than we expected it should.
Okay. Hi, David. Can you start again? Hi.
Yeah, hi, Suzette. Thanks again for having me back. Sorry about last week.
No,
Probably
it was
your
our
fault, actually.
It was. Thanks for pointing that out. You
Yes,
said
I
you were
did.
gonna have a link for us for your
I
show?
am sorry to say, though, that Practical Germophobia is taking just a little bit longer than we expected it should. I should have a link for you next week if you would like it still.
Yeah.
We should be ready by then.
What's taking so long? Like, why is it?
It's
taking
just a
so
lot of
long?
work, honestly. We're making sure we want to put out a quality product. We shot footage almost every day for the past 2 weeks. The other day I did a 2.5-hour interview with a friend of mine who's a registered nurse.
Oh, a him or a her?
It's a her.
Oh my gosh, someone should check on her right away. Because 2.5 hours with you is way too long. No one should spend that much time exposed to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you were going to have something for us to
well,
see.
I have a video of a web series that I produced that we just, we published a new episode last week. So I brought the clip for that. I put it up in the chat. If you want to, it's in the chat. If you just want to get it out, you can air it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, what is it? Why should we?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's just funny. It's just a comedic web series. It's called Donut Madness. It's based off of a blog by Jamie Fernandez.
Right, Jamie that owned Donut Madness.
Jamie. Yeah. Cool. Let's watch.
Okay.
Turned up the thermostat. This ain't it's like my people's living underwater. It's a second can't breathe. A lot of air sorta. We can't let the stress go. Like a water. We're under scrutiny like Mexicans at the border. They're calling her a guy, but some man toward her. A real man put a thought for her. Leave around me, and you see.
Pick out a donut, Angela.
I don't want one. These are stupid.
I want ice cream.
They don't have ice cream, you stupid idiot.
Don't call her an idiot.
She's a stupid idiot, and so are you.
I swear to God, Angela, if you don't pick out a donut and tell this nice lady what you want, you're going back to your father's. Do you want that?
I guess I'll have a fritter.
What kind? We have a couple different kinds in there.
The normal one.
Apple?
The normal one.
Lose the attitude.
Maybe stop being a stupid idiot, and so will I.
Are you serious? No, I don't think so. Go get in the car, now. You're done. You're going back to your father's.
God.
I'm so sorry. My happy child here will actually have the exorcist. Even though she probably needs one.
Hey, no judgment. That was a really awful teenage girl, too.
She's not awful. She's just been through a couple of...
Okay, so you were playing Jamie. Jamie's a woman, so you want me to believe that was you as a woman?
Yes, I did play Jamie.
But Jamie's a woman. And
well, I mean the lines are the same whether it's a man or a woman reading them. The character of Jamie for the web series is actually more just a straight man.
And you want me to believe you're straight now?
I am straight. A straight man is a term for an actor opposite a comedic actor, and the straight man plays the scene, maintains composure and seriousness in the scene, so the comedic actor can get all the laughs.
So because you're not funny and you're not a good comedian, you had other people get the laughs.
Yeah, I don't.
Right. Okay. What about dating? Are you going to date?
Do you realize there's a global pandemic happening? It's not really the climate for dating, I would say.
Excuses. Well, so you were supposed to have a clip of Practical Germophobia.
I know.
I was looking forward to that.
I'm sorry.
So when are you going to have that?
Producing and filming a show just takes time, and I've spent a lot of time, actually, for the last 2 weeks, helping you with your show. So that's taken a lot of my time.
Maybe you should spend more time on your own
Maybe
show.
you should spend more time on your makeup.
I'm sorry?
Or your hair. You can spend more time on your hair for sure.
Sir, you are out of line, and I don't know if I want to have you back now.
I don't. Look, I got messages from people. They said the first episode, their favorite part was us talking, you versus me. So I thought I would do you a favor and come back on the show anyway.
I don't believe those messages exist.
Yes, you did get the messages. I sent them to you. Yes.
Fine.
Well, I should have a link for you next week, but I thought just in case, we could have like a Suzette versus David segment.
Like doing.
I don't
what?
know, whatever. Yeah, I can come up. I mean, or you could come up with something. It's your show. Why don't you have an idea for your show and do something for once?
Yeah. Okay. We'll bring you back.
Okay.
You better have your link.
Well.
And you make a terrible woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so
Bad
much,
woman.
and have a great night, and see you next week.
Okay. See you later. That was David Shapiro, comedian, actor, producer. That was the show tonight, guys, and thank you for tuning in and joining us. Sorry we went a little bit long, but we appreciate you watching. If anybody donated to Stab Comedy Theater or to any of the contributors or guests on my show tonight, it's very much appreciated. Again, it's a hard time for any entertainers to work right now, and entertainers are kind of essential too, just not in the way that we're classifying essential workers. If you want to join us next week, we will have local drag king and newly crowned emperor of Sacramento, Ben Flicker, and we will have San Francisco comic. I'm forgetting. I'm terrible. Oh man, I'm awful. Liz Stone. That's who we're going to have. I wanted to make sure I got it right. We're going to have Ben Flicker and Liz Stone. So check us out next week on the 10th at 7 p.m. and we'll see you then.